It's not just an ordinary Tuesday. Welcome to Terrier Tuesdays, the show where you can get to know some of Boston University's best and brightest student athletes.
Hi, welcome to the latest edition of Terrier Tuesdays. My name is Scott Ellis, and I'm joined by softball alum and BU Athletics Accounts Coordinator, Brittany Younan. Brittany, how excited are you to be back on campus?
It's been awesome. It was really good to get back and see everyone, even if it wasn't the whole office because we're doing the split groups. But it was really nice to see everyone in, 5 months? We hadn't seen each other, which was cool. And it's great to have liveliness back on Com Ave. It was like a ghost town before. So it's been pretty great to be back to a semi-normal, more normal life.
Right. And how were you able to spend your summer?
I actually got to go work from home in California with my family for a bit, which was awesome. That was a really nice change of scenery, and it was pretty relaxing. That was cool. Other than that, I've been hanging out with my roommates here. My best friend and former teammate and roommate, Mariah Connolly, got a dog. So that has been a great addition, Copley. So we've been a lot of just, sitting with her, playing with her, going on walks. But other than that, working out, hanging out, nothing too crazy. Netflix, of course.
Right. Any particular shows?
I cannot stop watching The Office and Parks and Rec. And Schitt's Creek. Those are the three big ones for me. I can't stop with those three. Right.
No, totally understandable. But I did want to know, following graduation, what led you to come back to work at BU?
Well, when I graduated, I started work at Wayfair, and I loved working there. It was like a really cool experience, but I realized after a little bit that I love athletics and I love sports, and a job happened to open up with BU Athletics, and it just felt perfect because I love BU. Clearly, I've been here for like 8 years now. And I love the business side. So working in the business office has been a really cool experience. And I feel like it's the right career path for me. It feels right. So it's been a pretty good transition.
Well, speaking about your job, what do you enjoy most about the job in terms of the skill sets that you're using?
I love working with numbers, working in Excel. I studied in Questrom, so I feel like they really gave me a good platform for that. So it's pretty cool working with team and department budgets, all of those types of things. I love just number crunching. Right. I kind of geek out on it. So that's and also working with people. It's a very interactive job. So it's a lot of working with coaches, vendors. I like the communication part of it. It's pretty cool.
Right. And you mentioned career path. Do you know if you have an ultimate dream position, or are you just kind of going with the flow right now and see where things lead?
I'm definitely going with the flow because I think everyone has to at this point. Right. But I would love to be an AD or be some high level at a professional sports organization, something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I definitely think I want to stay within athletics and sports. Right.
And through your job and being in the business office, you certainly get a unique perspective on the past several months on how the department and the university have been operating. And can you just comment on the work the university has done to ensure the safety of everyone and to have students and staff back on campus?
It's been very impressive to watch because we've obviously, we've sat in each phase and seen the planning, and it seems like they add something new every day because they find a new risk, a new different thing. So with all of the frequency of testing is so impressive, and the turnaround time on tests, it gives you a level of comfort because you and those around you are all being safe and being tested. And then also we have our little BU masks. Everyone is legitimately following the social distancing. We all have our own offices. And then the students, when you walk around, they're all being very responsible as far as we can see, which has been pretty cool. But the university's work we've seen a lot of obviously struggles. College is not a great thing for a global pandemic, as we've seen, of course. But I think BU's steps have been so well planned out. And then with athletics, with our return to play, it's so detailed, and rearranging the weight room and scheduling practice times. It's been unbelievable. And then, of course, the learn from anywhere. is so cool. It's such a cool concept, even for people in Boston. If they don't feel comfortable to go in, you can still live on campus and then do your classes from anywhere. So I think the planning that's gone into it has been very impressive.
Right. And I mean, you mentioned the opportunity to come back on campus and to see everyone. I mean, how has that been for you to interact again now, not having to interact with people through Zoom?
It's been really nice. And obviously we're doing the separate working groups, which it's sad because you don't get to see the other half still.
Right.
But we've gotten to see a lot of the coaches and a lot of people I work directly with. There's something a little different about not having to schedule a Zoom call or a video call with someone, that you can just do the casual conversations. Like getting to see you has been so awesome. It's the longest we had gone without seeing each other.
No, for sure. No, for sure. And I mean, another part of I wanted to ask you, since you have spent a lot of time on campus over the years, I mean, you were recruited before a New Balance field was even constructed. So, I mean, can you just comment on the changes you've seen, not only on the athletic side of campus, but just the campus in general, and even in Boston?
It's been unbelievable. I mean, the campus, that new science building down campus is gorgeous. It's all glass. It's so pretty. And it's pretty cool to see all the new things pop up. And then athletics alone, we've had, I mean, like you said, New Balance was the very first one. My freshman year was the first year. That was cool. And then the Nickerson video board is amazing. And I think it's so cool for athletes to be able to see themselves up there. And then, of course, the case lobby and the stairwell are just, I feel like every upgrade is legitimately bringing us to another level. And then now the softball video board, I feel like we're taking like steps in different places, which is pretty cool. But I feel like BU is just like skyrocketing, which is pretty cool to see.
Right. And I mean, being an alum, I mean, you've certainly been able to interact with older alums in the softball program, and being in the business office, you get to interact with alums from other programs as well. I mean, can you just kind of comment the importance of alumni and being able to support their respective program and the department in general?
I mean, I think it's so important, obviously, to run things, you need to have support from everyone. And I think it's pretty cool when alumni can come back and walk through case, and it doesn't even look like the same building. You walk through and then you see the Olympic wall. And I think it's just so cool for people to come back and feel a sense of pride. And obviously people felt a sense of pride before, but I think it's almost like your hard work paid off and you get to support your program, and you would have done it before, but now you're like, that's my place. The amount of posts I see in front of the little BU, the BU sign in front of case is so cool. Everyone loves that. Like it's cool to see the amount of support that everyone has now. And I think it's definitely a great step.
Oh, for sure. And did want to ask you, I mean, I know you played basketball in high school. I mean, what led you to choose softball as your like athletic career path? And what do you enjoy most about softball?
Yeah, I loved basketball. When I was little, it was like every sport. And then in high school, it was really basketball and softball. But softball, I feel, for me personally, I think there are just so many different small ways to get better. Like everything is different every day. You can do 3 straight hours of just glove work. And I just feel like there are so many, and I'm very detail oriented. So I think Coach Waters and I really kind of vibed on that we both just would sit and do reps, and one day you're hitting, one day you're fielding. And I love just you can always, obviously in every sport you can always get better, but with softball, I feel like it's a game of failure. So the mental piece combined with just, it's in your control, but also it's not. So you have to kind of figure out how to make it work. And I feel like that was my thing with softball, and I never once regretted it. So that's a big positive.
I mean, you lived in the West Coast in Colorado and California. I mean, what were the deciding factors for you to commit to BU?
I didn't know I loved the city until I came and visited, and it sounds so cliche, but the first time I walked on Comm Ave, I was like, this is different and kind of weird, but I really like it. And I think obviously BU it's literally in the middle of Boston. And so it's an acquired taste for some people, but personally, I had never lived anything like it. And clearly, since I'm still here, I loved it. So I think just the city aspect, it's obviously one of the best sports cities in the world. I mean, even if I'm not like a Pats fan, I like the Fenway Park's at the end of campus. That was a huge selling point for me.
Right.
But I think, and then also the team was awesome. You can tell there's genuine support from the department. I feel like those were kind of the big selling factors for me, but the city of Boston sells itself. If you come and don't like it, I don't know. I can't relate.
Right. Totally understand. And another thing I want to ask you, since, I mean, you got to interact with all three coaches of the program over the past decade. You recruited by Coach Rychek. You got to play for Coach Gleason, and then obviously you spent 3 seasons with Coach Waters, who's now entering her 6th year. And the reason I bring all this up is the softball program. It was recently ranked number 43 in the country by D1 Softball, and the poll was based off the results and the accomplishments of programs over the past decade. I mean, in your eyes, with all that you've seen and getting to play for the program, I mean, what have you seen as the keys to the success of the program and the way that Coach Waters continues to raise the profile of the program?
I think when I got recruited, the aura around the team and the vibe around the team was they won a lot. My junior year of high school, they were at Cal against the number 1 seed and just playing hard, and they were the underdogs and they were winning games in regionals. And I think that was one of the coolest things for me, is going to a school that you can legitimately contend for league title. You can go to NCAAs, and they had a winning record. And so coming into that, I feel like the team dynamic has always, since I've been here at least, and as far as I know before, it's kind of just scrappy. And it's a bunch of random people, and you love each other and you play, and everyone's like, oh yeah, like, who is this team? It's not a Power 5, whoever. But we'll compete at the highest level. We'll compete on the national stage. And I think that has just been kind of a consistent thing through every coach, is that the people have generally stayed pretty consistent, which is wild, because at one point I think we had players from all 3 coaches recruited. So that's a big mix of personalities, and the culture of the program that was set by people before us was just so strong that it doesn't matter who it is, you're going to figure it out, and you're going to love each other, and you're going to play hard for each other, no matter who it is who's in the other dugout. Like, nobody cares. And that's why we get big wins, and that's why you compete at NCAAs in regionals. It's pretty cool. And I think Coach Waters is really taking the program to new heights, which is awesome to see. And I'm sad I didn't get to see him last year, because I think they would have made a great run, but I think this year of practice will be pretty cool to see where they go in the future.
Right. And well, kind of going off that, I mean, what has Coach Waters meant to you?
Oh my, she was just such a great addition, because obviously we came off of a pretty bad season my sophomore year, and coming in with a new coach, you hope for the best, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but she has just been like, she genuinely cares about players. She genuinely cares about academics, but she's the most competitive person. Like, you'll play pool against her and she's trash talking you, and you're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? But she has the perfect balance of understanding that we're student athletes, or we're humans first, but then also she knows how to bring the best out of people. And I'm very close to her and I love her. So that was like, we're still close. We're great friends. It's been pretty cool to work with her. Honestly, it's been a great change, but she is just, I'm so excited to see what her and Becca do in the future, because they are just great coaches. I can't say enough great things about them.
Right. And I just one more question, and shame on me for not bringing this up earlier, but I mean, you were the 2014 Patriot League Rookie of the Year, the 2018 Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year, a 3-time All-Conference. You received the John B. Simpson Award for leadership and enthusiasm on campus. And the reason I bring up all these awards, I did want to ask you, I mean, when you look back following graduation, I mean, what do you see as your favorite softball memories with the program?
Oh, favorite softball memories. I mean, at the end of the day, I got my best friends, and that's the basic answer. Yes. So that is definitely the most important part. But softball wise, every regional, I cannot say this enough. And I used to say this when people were coming in when I was a student for recruits. Going to a regional is a once in a lifetime experience. And we went to Arizona my freshman year, and then Louisiana Lafayette, and then Oklahoma. And I think it's cool because everywhere you go, it's different. Like, I feel like in Arizona, nobody knew if we were good or not. And then we like made some noise and won a game. And then in Louisiana Lafayette, that fan base was just like ridiculous. It was such a cool experience. And then in Oklahoma, they hated us because we beat them earlier in the season.
Right.
So I feel like the cool part about regionals is that it's never the same. It's just such a cool experience. You're competing against the best, and you get to fly out, and you're usually done with school at that point. So it's like you get to just play softball, and that's such a cool experience. And I would say that we reflect all the time on them, me and my old teammates, how cool it is to like those experiences are probably the most lasting memories.
Well, I did have to ask you actually one more question. We have some what I would call iconic BU softball photos of you and your heel kicking. So I do have to ask, like, when did that start for you?
I think that was my freshman year. I was kind of a weirdo my freshman year. Like, I would do like a weird beam routine on the chalk lines, and it helped because our senior class made everyone comfortable. So I was like out there dancing away, being kind of a weirdo. But I started doing the heel click because like that's kind of the vibe we played with. Everyone was just like, oh yeah, we're out here having a good time. And we were beating people, and they were like, what are they doing? Why is she heel clicking in the middle of the field? But that picture it's hanging up in my parents' house. It's one of my favorite pictures. So whoever took that, I need to send them a letter because I really appreciate it.
Well, and there's even one of you and Jen jumping up before the Patriot League tournament at home. So
yeah,
did want to bring that up.
It's a sign of joy, you know. It's just you're having a good time. And now when like we go places, we always have to take a heel click picture because why not? It's fun.
Right. Well, unfortunately, our interview has to come to an end, but it's been so much fun reminiscing and getting to talk with you. But thanks again for joining me, Brittany.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to Terrier Tuesdays. Give us a follow on our social media accounts at BU Athletics on Twitter and Instagram for more content.